Good afternoon. This is Lori with the Dalai Nala coming at you today on this December 17th, snowy New Hampshire day. Boy, the snow is coming down hard. I'm not a fan. So let's jump right into what I'd like to discuss today. This is a quote that I loved saying to people when I was teaching inside of a club. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That is by far the best definition of insanity you will ever hear. Most of us have changes we would like to make in our lives, myself included. Yet doing so can feel overwhelming and hard. So hard that there are books, workshops, programs, videos, podcasts, a whole industry dedicated to aiding people to make changes, to guide them into leading better lives. And yet most of us still struggle. Why is that? When we're struggling to make changes we want to make and don't understand the why portion of it, this can lead us feeling a little out of control, helpless. We become overwhelmed, we throw our hands up in the air, and we stay where we always have been. We're stagnant. It leaves us feeling unfulfilled, empty, and we wonder why so many people are walking around depressed and angry. I think if we try to understand why we may be struggling with change, it can lead to clarity, which will lead to actions that become the building blocks towards the change we have been yearning for so long. Of course, most of us don't want to go through this understanding phase. Most of us just want change to happen easily. And I promise you, you will remain the same until you take the time to go through the understanding phase of it. This doesn't mean you have to park your car, pitch a tent, and stay in this phase forever, but I believe it's an important step implemented in the changing process. Like to talk about a few reasons why we may be consciously or unconsciously avoiding change. So I think the first reason is we avoid discomfort. Making changes come with a lot of uncomfortable feelings. Change can feel risky. The outcome is uncertain, and making changes may require us to face all kinds of experiences we'd rather avoid, such as judgment from others, feelings of rejection and failure. I mean, let's face it, nobody wants to feel those feelings. Remember, change isn't about how much you want it. It's about how uncomfortable are you willing to get to make change happen. I also think change takes quite a bit of energy. Doing what we've always done is the path of least resistance, even if it's making us miserable cows. Making changes to habits and patterns in our life requires conscious effort and energy. If you're not willing to expend that energy, you're not going to change. If you recognize that making any sort of big changes in your life will require effort, you will more than likely be successful when you begin to start making changes in your life. I think we also fear the unknown. What will happen if we make a change? We all too often focus on the potential downside of things. What if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? What if my partner doesn't like the change I'm implementing? There are so many unknown factors. We literally could spend all day playing the what if game. So try not to do that to yourself. The what if game is terrible. But We could also have fears based on positive outcomes as well. What if I succeed? What if my success changes other areas in my life that I wasn't expecting? Every change you encounter, good or bad, you should realize them and embrace all the ways you are experiencing the fear of the unknown. Deal with it before moving on. Don't just kind of push it aside and say, If you don't, you will always go back to playing that what if game, and it will drive you insane. So remember to embrace it all. I also think when we think about change, we try to do too many changes all at the same time. You can do anything, but not everything. Isn't that the old saying? If we have multiple changes we want to make in our lives, we might feel internal pressure to do all the things right now. In reality, this isn't sustainable. Even making one small change in that area can require every ounce of mindfulness and energy we can muster up. So imagine if you wanted to lose weight. So you decided to change your diet, to start meal planning, to add a new exercise regimen. Your daily routine would have to change to fit all the new changes in. You also want to add meditation and journaling and you catch my meaning, right? At that pace, you'd want to rip your hair out and scream. Seriously. Just think of it like slow and steady wins the race. Pick one or two things you want to work on and work on just that, and then become successful at those small changes. This will ensure long-term success rather than burning you out within the first 2 days. Because if you try to make all those changes, you're gonna fail. It's inevitable. I think the next thing is really important. You have to find the right support group. Most people have all the wrong people in their support group. Support is critical for making changes. The bigger the change, the more support we will need. When we're changing something meaningful about our lifestyle, our health, our career, or any other big aspect of our lives, we want to make sure we're getting the right support system in place. We'd all like to think close friends and family are our ideal support system, but that isn't always the best source of support. Sometimes friends and family are the most critical and judgmental people out there. You especially want to avoid people who are engaging in activities or patterns that you yourself would like to change. So, for example, if you want to quit smoking, but all your friends are smokers, yeah, reality check, they probably aren't going to be your biggest supporters. They're going to be always trying to tempt you just to have one more with them. So, of course, finding the right support system doesn't mean dissing people who don't agree with you. We just want to be mindful and find people who will respect our choices, even if they don't agree with us or we don't agree with them. We can all disagree and still be kind to each other. We just want to find people and surround ourselves with people who will help us grow and not weigh us down. You may even find yourself turning to public figures online. You might find support in people you don't even know personally. You may find turning to someone that may have been on a similar path as you could be very helpful, especially if they are publicly journaling their experiences on social media. Don't expect change to be easy or instant either. It's so hard because we live in a world of instant gratification. I mean, think about it. If we want something with a few clicks of our mouse, it's ours. And, if we have Amazon Prime, it's like sometimes at our house within 24 hours of us ordering it. So, reality check again. Some changes will come easy, others will not. We want to enter this change with the attitude of, we can do it. But do not go into it with the expectations that it will come easy, that it will come fast, and that it will come without setbacks or mess ups. Be prepared. Plan for slip ups ahead of time. Seriously, think about it. What will you do if you slip up? What will you do if you are tempted to eat that chocolate cake that when your plan was to eat healthier? How will you respond to someone that is tempting you to just have that one piece of pie? It's not going to kill you. How will you respond to that? When you are craving sugar, what will you do what will you do instead of eating that pie, that cake, instead of giving into temptation? These are just several examples of planning ahead if change involves living a healthier lifestyle. So you're going to want to implement your plans based on what your changes are. So I hope you found these reasons helpful, and I hope they give you a bit more insight as to why change can be difficult. I think we're all open to making changes in our lives that make us happier, healthier, and more successful. But few of us follow through because committing to something that's going to change our lives is a daunting and massive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be if you know your reasons, have a plan, and are prepared to face them head on. What is one thing you'd like to change in your life? What are the steps you can do to make those changes happen? Whatever you decide to do, I wish you luck. And remember, no matter what you do in life, do it with passion, compassion, and kindness. This is Lori with the Dalai Nala. It's time to wake up and live.